Hello, 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 my lovely friends. What a handsome crowd we have here today. Our second teaching of our Sunday retreat. Boy, I love a retreat. Love it, love it, love it. We had a wonderful yoga class just a little while ago with Ajem, and we did some yin yoga. I I had no idea what I was missing. I like this yin yoga. It's lovely. I have this thing I'm always talking with you guys about soft, and I say we do soft meditation, we do soft practice and everything else. Well, I really like the idea of soft motion as well. That I'm not qualified to speak on exercise, clearly, just by how much screen I'm occupying at the time. But I think that we often have the idea that we're all training like to be professional athletes. And I always think that to be healthy people, it's that you don't need to train to be an athlete. You need to just get some motion in and get the body moving and eat well, limit some of those calories so you don't have to run, 20 kilometers a day to burn off all those calories. So I like the idea of these soft exercises, Tai Chi, yoga, Qigong. They're absolutely beautiful practices. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Tarpa, get to it. We're not paying you for nothing over here. It's free. Nobody's paying me. I'm here out of the goodness of my heart. Anyways, what I thought would be fun was to review and go over. We have a video on our YouTube channel called "The Top 10 Tips for Meditating," and I thought this would be a wonderful thing to cover for some of the new people that haven't had a chance to hear about it or study it. And then I thought it would also be a cool thing to do a discussion on. Our last teaching, we were kind of running along with yoga, so we didn't do our group discussion. We'll be doing a little bit of a longer one today, and I think we'll just throw everybody into a big room since there's not too many of us here. We just have a nice, perfect sized crowd. So I thought I would do this, and I think, would be a lot of fun. Again, that's what we're kind of talking about today. We're giving extra advice and techniques and skills for meditating today. And our main class at 1700 UTC is meditating in the four positions. So that's going to be great way to top the whole thing off. So I thought it'd be fun to do a countdown like they did on the late night shows all the time. David Letterman always did the top 10 countdown. So I thought it'd be fun to do the same thing for our meditation tips. So where 10 is leading up to 1, 1 will be the greatest tip, and 10 is the 10th tip. So we're moving up to better and better tips. Number 10, put comfort and quality over duration. It's the quality of your meditation that's important, not the duration of each session. A short, deeply engaged meditation is far more beneficial than an hour of conceptual chatter. Chatter means talking, talking, talking. Forcing yourself to sit in discomfort. So that's the most important. We've talked about that already today. Punishing yourself doesn't get anywhere. You just learn how to disrespect yourself. Where we take care of ourselves, we keep our meditation short, enjoyable, and pleasurable. What happens is, Alberto, I made you a co-host, so I'll let you let people enter, right? Ashugil's here. So what happens is when we keep our meditation pleasurable and short, is that we learn how to enjoy it. And naturally, as you get better and more proficient at meditation, as you develop a supple mind and supple body, you start to really enjoy it, and you naturally want to meditate for longer amounts of time. Now, with that said, there is an aspect of sometimes it's nice to challenge yourself to sit a little longer. But the idea is we just don't push it. We're never unrealistic. We don't have big hard aims that we have to achieve. Here we do everything soft. So that's so important. Comfort is so important. And of course, our one prayer on that. What is it? Motivational aspiration. We talk about the comfort of the Buddha's middle way is the perfect foundation for practice. That's it, comfort, right? Good. Number 9. I need a drum roll between each one. Number 9. Keep your practice personal. And sometimes I read these and I think, why isn't that one number 1? They're kind of all number 1s, right? Always remember that this is your mind and your practice. You need to explore and discover how meditation works for you, eventually cultivating your own personal style of practice based on many, many hours of experience on the cushion. For as our minds are unique to each one of us, so too must our meditation be. So, this is your time. This is your mind. This is your practice. This is your time. When you're in meditation, that's your world. Nobody's coming in. That's you and your mind. At first, when you have a chaotic mind, maybe you don't like the space too much. Once you develop some suppleness of mind and you become friends with your mind, then it is lovely. It's heaven. I go into meditation, guess what? No problems. I leave all my problems at the door. You remember I always like to talk about the visualization of entering meditation should feel like you're entering a warm bath, just sliding your toes in first. Meditation. That's what I like to think about. A drum roll. Number 8. See meditation as a well deserved time out, meaning instead of seeing meditation as just one more chore on your long list of healthy things to do, see it as a well deserved timeout from your busy day, a chance to gather your thoughts and energy and revitalize yourself. See your meditation as cultivating fresh starts throughout the day. I think we're all guilty of this. I still am guilty of this. Sometimes, if I haven't gotten a lot of meditations in, I think, oh, I got to get another meditation in. And but going to the cushion with that attitude is just horrible. It should be a sin. We're talking about a lovely practice that's so beneficial for us, makes us so happy. We really got to get a good attitude about this. Again, this ties into the last one. This is your mind. This is your practice. This is your time. This is a little vacation, a little holiday for you. Let's do 20 minutes, leaving all of the other baggage behind, just me and my meditation world. That's what we should think about. And for me, if I'm feeling fatigued or anything else, uh, meditation is by far one of the best rests. Like sometimes I'll take a nap and other times I'll meditate. Sometimes I'll do a little of both. Like I'll do a meditation and I'll fall asleep. And to me, both are okay. Because if I fall asleep during meditation, it was clear to me that I needed to sleep. But the point is that when I'm feeling kind of down or anything, I take a little bit of a meditation. It brings all this energy back to me and gives me a fresh start for the rest of the day. Number 7, understand the unseen benefits are always, understand that unseen benefits are always occurring. Regardless of how well you're able to stay focused on your breath, the calmness cultivated in meditation profoundly affects your mind in countless subtle ways. We did a teaching a while back. Remember, we did a whole week of evaluating our meditation. How do we evaluate our meditation? And this was quite interesting for a whole bunch of us. And I think we all felt this one was so true, especially beginners, because beginners still have trouble focusing the mind. They automatically think, I can't do meditation, I'm not good at meditation, where that isn't the goal. The goal isn't to contain the mind. Ultimately, if we can get past the thinking process, awesome. That is kind of the long-term goal. But the short-term goal is just to calm ourselves down and to start slowly gaining some control over the thinking process. So at the beginning, you shouldn't expect yourself to be able to just focus on the breath without the mind wandering. At the beginning, it's not possible. But what's happening is, whether you see it or not, Your mind and your emotions, and especially your core mental state, is benefiting from this practice. There's so much benefit going on that you might not see at the beginning. As your mind becomes more supple and you start to become more aware of the workings of your mind, these changes become very profound and you can see the difference in how much you change. So no matter how bad you think you're doing at meditation, that you can't seem to settle down the mind, whether you know it or not, all kinds of benefits are happening underneath it all, behind the scenes of it all. They're all working, and don't worry, keep going. Those benefits are going to surface and you'll get them. So that's so important. um, a drum roll. Number 6. Begin by establishing your intentions with a meditative aspiration. Okay, we talked about that in our last teaching today. We accomplished this through a meditation prayer. And again, this seems like it should be number 1, but there must be better ones to come. But this is so important that the the mental state that you bring to the cushion so profoundly affects the meditation that you'll have. If you come in with some dullness, with some negativity, they tend to get amplified in meditation. So, and the thing about positivity, it's not just that some kind of philosophy like it's just good to be happy. It for us, it's the idea, it's the acknowledgement that positiveness and joy have a very unique energy. They have a strong, profound energy. It's like rocket fuel. It's a better energy than other ways that you can attain energy. So that's the reason why we're so big on positivity, because it's a unique energy. Joy brings a real unique energy and really gets the meditation going. Number 5, use a meditation checklist to make sure you're engaging properly in your technique. Again, we talked about this in our last teaching. So much of the time, out of laziness, sometimes we just plop down on the cushion. Okay, I'm going to get my meditation over with. You sit there, you mindlessly watch the breath for 20 minutes, and then you don't feel guilty, and you go about doing something else. That's not meditation. What is that? That's vegetation, right? We're meditating, we're not vegetating. Meditation takes an alert, active mind that's switched on, that's more aware of what's happening. So the checklist makes you understand and remember the important things like, we come right in with joy, awareness, acceptance. So I use that checklist every single time I meditate, and I urge all of you to do the same. Number 4, touch the meditative state as much as you can throughout the day. The fact is, the more often we engage in meditation, the easier it is to enter and be productive in that state. This can be accomplished by engaging in frequent 3 breath meditations between your formal meditation sessions. So anything we can do to kind of keep touching that state of stillness, of calmness, of peace, uh, to keep the mind activated in that's how we really get effects in meditation. I have friends that meditate once a day, but they'll do it for 2 hours. And that could be profound. But I know it would be more profound if they broke that up into 2 1 hours or 3 shorter sessions. So, but for me, to do the 3 breath meditation at each meal in between my formal meditations, just those few minutes to do a 3 breath meditation to touch that state, guaranteed next time you sit down, you'll enter the state easier. We talked before about meditating twice a day in our 10-week program, and many people say they have problems getting that first one in. But we all know in our Sangha that first one sets up the day. If I don't get my first one in, it's really hard for me to get to the cushion on the second one because I'm familiar with the state. My mind's halfway there already, and I can enter it, right? Very important. Number 3, make up your mind to be in the present moment. Um, for often we don't harness our full attention and mechanically follow the breath without fully being present. Instead, Increase the intensity of your focus to create an alert, bright mental state that's clearly focused on the present moment. So when we're on our last word of the checklist, engage, and we say follow the breath, switch on and let go. When we say switch on, for me, I think one thought, I think stillness. Now that means present moment, right? I'm here, I'm now. Focusing on the breath automatically brings you to the current moment. So that whole phrase, follow the breath, switch on, and let go. That whole phrase is grounding in the present moment. You can't be anywhere else when you say that. If you're aware of what you're saying, you cannot be anywhere else but the present moment when you utter that line. So, but for me, the most important thing in meditation right away is stillness right away. And sad to hear, a lot of times I forget, and I find I've been thinking for 4 or 5 minutes, and then I catch myself and I say, "Hey, what are you doing? We're supposed to be meditating." And but the first thing again, stillness. So at my level at practice, instead of saying meditating for a mantra, I could be using the word stillness for a mantra for me, and that's how it all begins with me. Number two, smile during your meditation. This brings positivity to your practice, and regardless if your smile is genuine or contrived, fake, by simply applying the gesture, it'll affect your mood. Funny thing, they did some studies on this and they found that there's a lot of physical gestures that just by doing them, they affect our mood. So and the research I saw, the study I saw was on smiling, and what they found was, this wasn't a Buddhist article, this was just a scientific article. What they found was that people that just paste of a smile on their face um, actually increase their happiness levels. So it works. And again, we want to do everything we can to bring positivity and joy into our practice. In our 10-week program, we're actually going to get to the point where we're going to learn how to meditate on joy, on positivity, on feelings of pleasure and bliss within our practice. Those are the highest levels of practice in calm abiding meditation. So that's a very high level of practice, and we're going to go there with that. So we want to start right away cultivating joy and positivity because we're going to use it for rocket fuel later on in the program. And I want you guys to be able to feel joy whenever you look into your heart. You know where it lies, you know how to cultivate it, it's there, you're familiar with it, and then that's going to be the ultimate tool. It's going to be great, you're going to love it. And a drum roll, please. Number one, make up your mind to enjoy each and every session. Every time you sit down to meditate, we all know this. Every time you sit down to meditation, it's different. Every time. I have never had a meditation that's the same as another. I've done thousands or tens of thousands of hours of meditation. No one meditation has ever been the same as another. So we accept that. Some meditations are productive. I like to use the word productive. I don't like good or bad, but some meditations seem to be more productive. Some meditations seem to be less productive. But we all know as meditators that sometimes it's the less productive meditations that you gain the most wisdom from. So then it starts to become like, well, then well, how do we define a productive meditation? We think of productive meditation as we get a feeling, or we get some joy, or end up with a lovely feeling. And Lord knows that's wonderful, right? Who doesn't want to have that, to really get a really neat experience and sensation and feeling from their meditation? So that feels good, but you know what? Sometimes it's the difficult meditation that you get through that is the most beneficial. I've had so many meditations that, 15 minutes in, the whole time I was getting ready to quit because it was just rotten. I was anxious, I was restless, I could barely sit still. And all of a sudden, I break through something, and the second half was just dynamite. Sometimes not. So I've had meditations that just unproductive the whole time. But I'm just saying, you never really know where a meditation is going to take you. So That's why again, we develop an adventurous mind, that we sit down to explore our mind. Whatever the state of mind we bring to the cushion, that's the project. We don't care if it's angry, if it's sad, if it's happy, if it's restless, if it's lazy and sleepy. It doesn't matter. That's the state of mind. That's the project for this session. Working with that, figuring it out. So it's almost cool that we have all these different types of meditation, mental states of meditation, because each one of them has to be explored. We have to learn about each and every one of them. People often say to me, they say, I wanted to meditate yesterday, but I couldn't. I was so angry. I just couldn't sit on the cushion. And I'm guilty of saying that. But what's funny is, as much as you feel that way, if you can work through it and sit down anyways, you might find that you get some of your most amazing meditations that way. I try to do this. If I'm sad, if I'm angry, whatever, I think to myself, I'm not in the mood to meditate. I can't sit still. But if I drag myself to that cushion in a gentle, nice way, oftentimes I'll have a stunning meditation. So, sometimes we gotta get through stuff like that. So there you go. There's my top 10 tips for increasing the productivity of your meditation. Looking at the list again now, I think maybe every time I look at it, I would change the order of stuff. I wrote this a long time ago, maybe last year, and so the order of them, I think, changes depending on how you think. Like I said, almost all of them I could think are number one, but it depends. If we're looking at just productivity, maybe the one we have here for number one, making up your mind to enjoy this meditation, maybe that is just the greatest one that you could start with, right? That's the great one. Anyways, these are on our video on our YouTube channel. And so, and the list is there in the description below the video. So I won't make this teaching available on here. It's all there already. But there are a couple additional thoughts I wanted to share with everybody. And then how are we doing on time? I'm doing good on time. Am I? Let me look at what time it is. Oh, yeah, I'm doing good on time. I got a few more minutes. In a minute, we're going to do a discussion and we're going to let you guys all hash out your own thoughts. The discussion groups are by far the most fun thing in the retreats. Here's the additional thoughts. We talked about this the other day. I just wanted to briefly say it again. Developing a subtle mind in meditation. We say supple mind and supple body. Supple means soft, flexible. When we do yoga, we're trying to become supple. So supple mind means a flexible, adaptive mind and body. Um, when we develop a supple mind, um, what happens is the mind stops pushing and pulling. The mind stops fighting us in meditation. There's always a tension at the beginning of meditation, and that's what makes it kind of difficult. We're sitting there, we're trying to calm the mind, we're trying to be peaceful, but the mind has other thoughts. The mind wants to do fun stuff. And it doesn't like what you're trying to do. It's like trying to get an unruly child to sit down and enjoy the view or a moment. They don't want to look out over a beautiful view. They want to play a video game or something. So, anyways, there's a tension there, and and for me, it's always a feeling of pushing and pulling. Uh, and so, what happens is when you develop supple mind and supple body, that's the sign that you've actually achieved it. When that pushing and pulling just falls away, and you're just one with the breath, you sit there and you're just content. Thoughts still arise, but thinking doesn't. The thinking process falls away, thoughts arise. It's a very common state. It doesn't feel special, it feels comfortable, it's really content. And you're just there, and just all of a sudden all the effort and all the tension falls away, and there's the breath sitting right in front of you, and you go, oh, let's watch the breath, and you just watch it, and there's no tension, there's no more effort. Your mind barely falls off the breath. If it does, you bring it back again like normal, but just your meditation gets this effortlessness. And oh, wait till you get there. That's when meditation is just a completely different practice when you get there. So that's awful cool, right? Um, One aspect that's overlooked in meditation, I find it's overlooked in meditation, nobody seems to talk about that it's a profound practice for cultivating patience. They briefly will mention it, but I think it's a lot more than that. With that tension and with that pushing and pulling of the mind, and we still sit there and finish the 10 or 20-minute meditation. This is by far one of the greatest uh, practices of patience that I can think of, unless you have children. If you have children, that's probably far greater. But for a monk, this is as good as it gets. So I think that that's really important. Uh, and the other one is that occasionally uh, it's very important to take some time to evaluate your meditation practice. We did a big teaching on this a while back, and it was cool. I don't know if we have any videos on it online, but we do it as a group, and we're going to do that a couple times a year. But once you've been meditating for a while, it's really important to step back and look at your practice objectively. Say, now what's actually going on? Am I making progress? Am I feeling better? Is there a result here? And it really helps to do with other people, so you get a good idea. So when you do it with just yourself, sometimes you can just get caught up in that. You don't you see things as not very useful just because you don't like them. Where with a group, we offer objectivity. But the point is that there are some things that should be happening, and if they're not happening, you need to address it. You need to talk to the teacher and find out. You say, I'm supposed to be becoming supple, it's not happening, what can I do? Worst comes to worst, you need to find a new teacher. You need to find a new technique, because there's no point in doing this if we're not getting results out of this. This song is interested in one thing. We're interested in resultant practice. We're interested in practices that work, practices that we know are going to benefit us and are moving us forward. If we're not moving forward, if you have a teacher tell you, oh, don't worry, probably your next life or the life after you'll benefit. I don't know about you, but I was never comfortable with that. When I was doing tantric practice, I had teachers tell me, sometimes it takes a few lifetimes before you get any results. That's why I don't practice Tantra. I was not comfortable with that. So we're talking about practices right here, right now. Within just a few weeks of meditation, you should see some results already, though mild, and as you get going, they get more and more. Okay, man, I talked a lot, but I think that was a good teaching. So we're going to do something now for everybody. We're going to do a discussion group. Is everybody still awake? Wow, you guys are all awake. You're still with me. When I teach, I have my notes, so I don't see all your beautiful faces. This is going out to everybody. I'm going to go ahead and paste it in place. Oh, it's a big long one. I hope that that's okay. Do I have to hit enter or anything? Do I hit enter? There we go. So this is for everybody. So we have 3 questions that I want to give you, but I also wanted to put on the 10 tips so you could use them for reference, right? And what I'm going to do is 10. We got 10 people. Let's do 2 rooms so you guys don't all talk over each other. And hopefully the people that are blacked out now will wake up and join the club, so we don't have all blacked out people in a group. Okay. The first question is, which of these meditation tips have you found useful in your own practice? And again, we're just trying to find a fun way to talk to each other, right? And then I list them all. So we have 10, just in case you didn't remember them, you can look through them. And then down at the end, we have the other 2 questions. What aspects of meditation do you find most important? Now, this has to do with the list, the order I put the list. I put down my favorites from 1 to 10. Why don't you guys share, what kind of order you would put them in, or just talk about the couple. What would you think would be number 1, number 2, number 3? Maybe the top 3, right? And then the last question is, do you have any of your own meditation tips to share with the group? And they don't have to be profound. When we're meditators, it's a personal practice, and we all find little funny things that we do. One of my friends, she works with colors and she attaches them to emotions, and everybody's got their things. So don't be embarrassed. Feel free to share your own little tips and tricks or whatever you like to do. Okay. Any questions? If not, I'm going to divide you up into groups. I don't think we need leaders in the groups. Everybody can just kind of take off. I haven't done this in ages. Let me see if I remember how to do it. I'm going to pause the recording. I'm going to stop the recording.